Okay, I'm going to give a quick demo of Office Clip Pro for rental type businesses. Essentially, this is your dashboard, your desktop that you would log into. And, from here you could see, some of your latest contacts. You could see, apartments that are or spaces that are available, on hold, available, and rented of all of your properties. You can also see a bar graph about that as well. You can see, a variety of different things. Probably one of the most important is announcements, that you can send an announcement to all of the people who have logins on here. A person can see their upcoming events and tasks for the future. And you can have group bookmarks up on the front. For instance, if you do background checks, obviously this will take you right to, the site of the company that does the background checks that you can do online. So with that said, a person can, just get an overview of what's going on in their work and within your community right from this front site. Next is contacts, and it's designed to keep track of all of your potential leads and then also manage your apartments once those leads move in to those apartments, and then to invoice and to accept payments for your spaces over time. So here's a list of people that you would see in the system. If a new person were to come in, you'd click on new contact. It would open it up and you'd start filling out the data and the information on that person. What I'll do is just go into one of these existing people and just show you the fields in here, first name, last name, salutation, their social security number, so that you can run a credit check. You put the full tenant name in once they actually decide that they're going to lease from you. Their phone number, their mobile, email, home phone, another mobile phone, their mobile phone carrier in case you want to text them, because you can send texts, or set them up on a group or bulk text program at some point in the future. How they're going to pay for their rent, what their birthday is, basic information about their current address over on the right. On the left is where you would put, once they sort of decide that they're going to take an apartment, you'd put the property that they're applying for at that point. That's some other information. You can keep unlimited notes on the person, where they sort of decided to come in by, so you can track your advertising, who created this account, who the rental agent is. If you had a referral tenant, someone referred someone and you give a spiff for recurring, that's great. When it's created and when it's modified on a regular basis. What the person's looking for, how many bedrooms, whether they want laundry, how many bathrooms, how many view. Maybe you'll be full, and then when one comes open, you can go back and search all the people that had called and came in about that certain thing. So once you get this all filled out, you kind of pretty much know where the where the person what they're looking for, basic information about the person. Then you would go over to your inventory. Here's 3 different properties, let's say. Each one has a few different apartments in it. I can click on any one of these properties and I can see the different apartments, whether it's available, whether it's rented or not at this particular time, how many bedrooms, square footage, what building it's in, bath, laundry, all the information that I want. We can edit those. You can click in here and the person can change anything that changes with this, whether it obviously goes from available to rented when it gets rented. So let's just say this one's available. So sure enough, I show it to that person. They want it. Great. I will save this one as rented. Now that one shows as rented, and I would go back to that person, and let's just make sure they're not in here yet. Kevin Jones and Jane Smith are the only two that are in accounts. So let's take Paul Young, and I would convert him or make him an account at that point. When I do that, I would put the tenant's full name in, I would put the property, the address from the one that he just rented in, and I would hit convert. At that point, it would put him over into accounts on this side, which I'm not going to move that guy over. We'll just take a quick look at someone who's already in there. And once they're in there, okay, great. Here's this person. It'll bring over their name. It will bring over the property address that you just put them in. Wonderful. And then, now you're collecting the rest of their information that they're in there. Their driver's license number, and putting in information about that specific lease. Again, how they're going to be paying for it, when the lease end date is, if they renew the lease, what day of the month the rent is due by, depending on whether you have them all due on the first of the month or rolling when the person comes in. Late payment history, every time someone's late, you can just add a number to that. If they're Section 8, what their Section 8 allowance is, criminal history, whether that's been done, credit score, if you're running a credit on them, what type of car they have, what their license plate is, if you give them a parking number, and all of this can be customized to suit your needs. Who's the last person that modified it, if they had a pet deposit, pet rental, handicapped, accessible, what kind of dog, whether they smoke or not. All of it's in there. Wonderful. You can attach documents to this specific thing. So once their lease is done, you can edit documents, upload the documents, and so their lease, their background check, whatever you want, can be in there. Every shred of paper that's associated with any tenant can just be scanned, uploaded, available for instant access. All of this information can be accessed on an Android, BlackBerry, or smartphone. So again, if I'm out in the field and they don't like the first apartment that I show them, I can look, or the first space, you can log right in there and see what else is available in real time because it's web-based. The application's up on the cloud. Then the last thing that I would do is, within accounts, let's say Jane Smith, I would go over to invoices, and we can set people up on recurring billing, and here's one, Kevin Jones, that's already been set up in here. You'd simply create a new invoice, select from all of your accounts, and if it's a 12-month lease and they want to put it on auto ACH or auto payment, that's great. If not, they can actually be emailed an invoice every month by the system, and they can pay by credit card or by e-check right through that email, or they can deliver a check the way that they normally do, and you can get it, bring it into your back office, and scan it right into the computer, and it'll automatically deposit it in your checking account. And at that point you can mark the invoice in the system paid. It tracks everyone who's paid. It tracks their entire payment history. They can view their payment history online as well as you. They can dispute any charges that are on here online. So instead of calling in and bothering somebody, if someone were to want to, they can question a charge as if you bill them for any incidental charges. That's essentially an overview of how OfficeClip Pro for rental situations would work.